Welcome to Ask the Oracle, where we dive into the archetype wisdom, intuitive embodiment, and the soulful journey of transformation. I'm your host, Suzy Cherub, and today I'm joined by a radiant guide whose work bridges the practical and the profound. Soul in Dentity Coach, Lorraine Enright. Lorraine's approach is an invitation to return to the truth within, to breathe life into your soul's codes and to live from the spaciousness of oneness. Whether through her clear view breathing technique or her heart-led insights, she empowers us to reclaim our infinite potential. So breathe with us, open your heart, and get ready to awaken spirit, because this episode is rich with revelation and really beautiful deep resonance. Hello, Lorraine. How are you, my love?
Oh, hello. I'm well, thank you, Suzy. And yeah, it's so wonderful to be here on Ask the Oracle. Thank you. It's so lovely to connect with you.
I just resonate. I heard you speak at a conference that we went to, and I just resonated with everything you said. So it sort of made sense to me to have you on the podcast. So I'm so grateful that you're here. So excited for our session today. So let's dive deep into these questions. I really want to focus on origins of Awaken Spirit. What was the spark that ignited Awaken Spirit? Can you share this story behind its creation?
Oh, okay. Yes. Great question. Thank you so much. It's a bit of a journey, and originally it was not Awakened Spirit. It was actually when I first started doing what I was doing, I was in like the coaching field where everything was life coaching, all the NLP practices and so on that, I have that behind me. And so in the beginning, I did a lot of research to find that name when I first started Certitude. And Certitude means beliefs, and that's what I work with, within ourselves, is that deep belief of, that we may have taken on through someone else and so on. And I also looked up the goddess Mavira, which is wisdom and, strategy and all that sort of thing. So there was that.
I adore her, Lorraine, Goddess
Yeah,
Mavira. Beautiful. Yes.
absolutely beautiful. And I thought, that aspect was, and I nearly named my business around her at first. So I started Certitude Life Coaching and went on from there. But Awaken Spirit, as we all do, we evolve.
Yes.
And I'd realized that had served its purpose for me, but it was quite masculine. I could feel that as much it was, serving the purpose that I needed and for my clients and so on, things were changing and I was changing. And I obviously was maybe a bit hesitant to step into that part of me, even though I was incorporating that in what I do in my business. But it was only where I started to get the message quite recently of to contact a certain person, and I kept going, why, what? And that went on for a day or so, and then I just went, okay, I'm going to listen to the nudge, I'm going to listen to you, soul, I'm going to do this. And hence how it all evolved from there, in the sense of incorporating what I believe is spirit is the heartbeat of soul, and it's bringing our humanness and our spirituality and the oneness of all that we are into that space. And so that's where Awakened Spirit really stemmed from, is that heartbeat of soul.
Beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Soul identity and sacred codes. Now, you speak of soul identity codes. What are they, and how do they illuminate one's path to authenticity?
Well, it was an interesting journey with that in particular, because when I started to receive the downloads of these codes, and I was receiving images that I was drawing myself and so on, but not quite understanding what this was about. And I had been going through quite a big change in my life through separation after looking after my parents for years with cancer and Alzheimer's and so it was a big transition, and I was really starting to what I feel hit rock bottom. Like, you know, things were just overwhelming because I'd been on adrenaline for so long with my parents, and then everything happened. And, you know, it's interesting how I even survived sometimes. But we do what we need to do. And so I started to receive these downloads, these codes, and so on, and worked with them for many years myself, and thought, well, what am I meant to be doing with all of this? You know, I know how powerful they are. I know the change that can occur, because it's part of helping people to understand. Meditation is a beautiful technique. You know, it is, it's gold. It's just divine. But many people find it challenging to get into that space. And when we're out and about, it is also a challenge to be able to sometimes get in that space when we're in overwhelm and things like that. So when we had the big change happening in 2020, was it? Like, I received the message to say, Lorraine, now's the time. The world needs it. And I went, oh, okay, well, what do I do there? And
It's a big message, right?
it's
Yeah.
a big message. And I had only had these little drawings and bits and pieces of everything. And I thought, how is this meant to work? And then, of course, a beautiful soul came across my path. And I thought maybe I could mention them to that person, because for me, it wasn't really to be in this digital form. It
Yes.
was the silence of being away from everything and sitting in that
Right.
space
Yeah.
and having that visual. But she managed to bring it to life exactly how it was meant to be, you know, with the mind, the heart, soul, the infinite that we are, and so on. And hence, if I'm at the right space, is that's how it all came about. And then the codes came from there. So it really helps the mind. The mind absolutely loves visuals. And it's
Yes.
very challenging at times, as I said, for many to calm that mind. So the codes are a visual for the mind to have the faith. We outsource faith, and faith belongs within ourselves. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we help the mind to have the visual, to trust, to have the faith to come into the heart, trusting the beautiful heart space. We know how powerful our heart is. And then that alignment then brings and helps to drop into soul. And I have a breathing technique that also is incorporated with that. So the mind, the body, everything about you comes into that space. And of course, it takes practice. It's like meditation, it takes practice.
Yes, but you know, those beautiful practices that actually, you know, make such a difference to regulating your nervous system, or just getting still, you know. I love that. So, how does your approach differ from other spiritual or coaching frameworks, do you think? Because I did notice that you have quite a different take on things.
The difference is, over my learnings and trainings, experiences, and so on over my lifetime, I've learned to understand that there's actually what I believe a missing link when we're taught to coming into that's our soul. And our humanness is, you know, overriding some of what happens. Like I said, our mind, you know, the chatter and so on. So what I've realized is that, yes, heart is part of soul. There's no doubt about it. It
Yes,
is
yeah.
certainly part of that. But our divine worth sits deeper than that. and the oneness of our purpose, of all that is, that who we are sits deeper than that. And that's where my beautiful breathing technique, and with doing the gestures that we do and so on, we balance that, the male and female energy. We align and help balance that, because men, need to come, maybe, not all men, of course, but into more heart space to be able to surrender in that and so on. And we've always known that and been taught over time, and women have come such a long way, and I understand that, but the energies within us, that energy is more male dominated when it comes to the breadwinner, we need to balance those male and female energies within ourselves more into the oneness of being labeled that way. And so coming into soul is more than just the heart. When we're bringing our human and spiritual aspects of self, and hence the solar plexus is part of that gateway to soul. So we bring the mind down with the faith, coming into the trust and the love of the heart, but we need to ignite and have our worth be part of that. And this is where that missing link is, to come into that space of meditation and soul and inner bliss and confidence and so on in that stillness. And that's where I differ.
I think you also have this beautiful way to express it. Like the way you articulate that makes so much sense. You almost get a very strong visual and deep inner knowing when you explain it, Lorraine. So thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Now, it's really interesting because I'm at the tail end of a cold. So I apologize to everyone that I've got a bit of a cold, because I want to ask you, it's funny how things align, about this clear view breathing technique. It sounds profound. How did that particular part evolve, and what transformational shifts have you witnessed through it, like this beautiful breathing technique that you do? Yeah.
Well, it's quite different, and it's, we need to familiarize the brain, and we also need to have a disruptive state to come out of what we naturally just think this is what it is and this is how it, and our mind can play tricks on us and go, yeah, that's really good. Well,
yeah,
that's the whole idea of this breathing technique, is using the codes. You're able to practice with calming the mind, giving it a visual, so it has the faith to come into the heart and so on. And the gestures then follow that aspect of the first part is the visual. Then we have the gestures of placing hands on heart, on solar plexus. The breathing is very different to what, because we speak of, different breaths and breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth and things like that. And, I love it that in Hawaiian philosophy, when we breathe through the nose, it is breathing in pure love, because it's not tainted by words of our mouth and
wow,
so on.
that's
so
profound.
when we breathe that through our nose, which we do a couple of times with my technique, but then we go the opposite of that, and we breathe through our mouth, coming in. So we're then igniting that heart space, that soul space, and breathing out that through the nose into
Amazing.
our surroundings and so on. So it's aligning our energies, as I said, our male and feminine energies and so on, bringing them into balance. And it's a technique that it's an evergreen technique that, again, like riding a bike, like doing meditation, everything, practice. The brain does need to familiarize, because the mind will not ever stop. It's its job to be doing it in certain aspects. So we will never actually stop. But if you're, traveling somewhere and you become a bit anxious, or you're about to go into an appointment or something like that, this technique you can do in a matter of minutes, and your mind will have that faith to go, oh, That's right. Coming into the heart, coming into the soul, doing the breathing technique, and you come back home. You come back within, and you're in the moment of now. You're not in the past, you're not in the future. You're actually in the moment of now. And it's so powerful. And in that space, then things flow to you. You don't go having to chase things and, be resistant in pushing, because as we push, we create resistance, which then blocks and so on. So you go with the flow. You trust what's happening, even if you think, that it's going to be something really bad. When you come into that clarity and into that space, then fear does not live there. Fear is utilized in a much more positive way, not
Oh, I love
as in,
that. Yeah.
And so that's the power of the breathing technique. It's something that's evergreen that you can end up, utilizing for the rest of your life.
I mean, I have a breathwork practice that I do every day, and I meditate every day. And but the way you explained that is so beautiful. And I love that you also explained that, the sacred union of the feminine and the masculine through this work that you do. And, really kind of leading from the heart, that beautiful heart space. And just really, really beautiful. I'm an NLP practitioner as well. And I absolutely love it. But at the same time, it does come from quite a masculine energy.
Yes.
So to have your beautiful sacred feminine kind of perspective on it is really refreshing and really beautiful. And I want to talk a little bit about oneness embodied. What do you see as the missing link in how we connect with soul today? And I think you explained it earlier on, but I'd love for you to just talk a little bit more about that if you can.
I, as I mentioned before, that there is, I believe, a missing link, because our humanness is so programmed. We are
Yes.
so programmed in a certain way. And yes, we can come from our heart space, but I would, ask that question sometimes, that when we make decisions and so on, are you making it from a fear base or a heart base,
Yes.
a love base? And many would say, oh, it's love. It's like love for my family and this. But if you delve that little bit deeper, you might find that it's more based on fear,
Or
not the love.
obligation, or
Yes, yes,
guilt, or
yes.
the mother's guilt, or the
Yeah,
is that what you really want to be doing?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and this is where in that oneness of bringing our humanness, our human personalities, and we have a spiritual personality. Like,
Yeah.
have you heard people go, oh, that person is so spirited, they're so, you know that's coming from so deep within. That is what ignites us. That is, the oneness that we are. And it's coming, and this is what I help teach my clients and work with, is to come into that space. As I
Yes.
said, I believe spirit is the heartbeat of soul. And so we align that energy. So we align the masculine and the feminine. We come into that beautiful power of the heart. We have so much wisdom in our mind, in our higher intelligence, but our heart is our higher intelligence. And then imagine coming into the space of the oneness of soul's intelligence.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
powerful. We are
So
so
powerful.
powerful.
Yeah.
And we unfortunately don't utilize that as much, because people think it's a bit woo-woo. Well, you have an infinite resourceful system within yourself, and the answers are within you. They're not outside of you, they're within you. And then what you do on the outside world, with your work or your friends or so on, that complements you.
Yes.
It
It's
is a
complementary.
compliment, yeah, a complementary
Absolutely.
part of your beautiful energy.
Yes, we're so multifaceted.
Oh, very
And
much so. Yeah.
that oneness unity, that oneness consciousness, to delve deeper, and connect with that universal wisdom is amazing. So how do you guide clients in integrating spiritual essence within their human experience to embody oneness? You know, like how do we make it practical and pragmatic, do you think?
Well, as I said, with my breathing technique and going
Yeah.
through the codes, this is, you
Yes.
know, the teaching, because this is why I'm not a person that will do, you know, 1 or 2 sessions with someone.
Yes.
We can revert back into old habits so quickly, so easily. The idea is for the person to master this, to be their own
Oh, that's
unique
good.
soul.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is what it's about. It's not coming to me and I'm doing the work.
Yes.
It's the person doing the work. It's the person starting to recognize the changes within themselves. Some may be subtle, some may come and hit you like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
But that's the process of why I coach and you know have the journey of being you, for example, is because I want you to master this. This is your tool for life. This
Oh,
is
yes.
your innate wisdom within yourself, the divine I am that is being opened up and expressed, and your true essence is coming forward.
What a
And I
beautiful
want you to
answer.
own that.
Yeah. I love that. You know, there's so much skimming that happens spiritually, you
Yes.
know, and I love that you know, you do that more comprehensive, you know, holding space for someone, you know, like it's not just that, you know, that kind of like quick fix, if you like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We've got
yeah,
enough of
beautiful.
those out there, don't we? Quick fixes.
We
And they're
do,
not
and you know.
necessarily quite healthy.
No, I just love the Oracle of Delphi, and at the Oracle of Delphi, at the gates of the Oracle of Delphi, there was always know thyself, and that is, you know, that mastership to,
Yeah.
you know, to really truly know thyself. The best relationship you will ever have is the one that you have with yourself, and it's this beautiful, you know, ongoing, ever evolving journey that we're on. So I loved the way you explained that. So
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
question for you, my darling. What's
Yes.
a common misconception about spiritual embodiment that you love to kind of gently reframe? Now, I know as NLP practitioners, we understand the power in the reframe, but is there any kind of misconception around spiritual embodiment that you kind of love to gently reframe, do you think? I tell you one for me.
Uh,
One for me would be, you know, like, um, let's just say, you know, how the patriarchy made the goddess kind of quite a sexual being, not sensual, but sexual, right? And for me, you know, the goddess is multidimensional. She's the maiden, the mother, the queen, the crown of wisdom, you know, we're quite multidimensional. But to me, that's a misconception around the divine feminine, you know, that the goddess is just that very, very, you know, um, sexualized kind of archetype. So is there any kind of gentle reframe around any archetypes that you think perhaps need to happen?
I think, you know, for me, it's about probably that meditative state and how we
Yes,
think we should be in that state, and
yes.
that we think that we have to quieten the mind.
Oh,
And
here we
yet,
go. This is good. Yeah,
yeah, do you know what I mean? And yet the
yeah,
mind will not ever stop.
yes,
So we need to help the mind to understand. Let's just bring it down. And as I said, the mind loves visuals, absolutely loves visuals. So it's interesting when your mind can then start to see something and trust this within yourself,
yes.
it will then automatically quiet.
Oh, I
It'll
love
just
that.
come in that space where people struggle to think that we need to quieten the mind and so on. And mindfulness is beautiful, you know, like bringing that awareness where
Oh,
you can
yeah. That
feel
self-awareness.
certain,
Yeah.
yes, self sitting on a chair or something, that, but not labeling it.
Yes. And I think
It's not.
the visual is kind of open. It's very expansive. It's open to interpretation. by the mind. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have, you know, other things attached to it, if that makes sense. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's that space that, you know, I really want to help people to understand that there's an infinite space there. You truly, you will hear noises. You'll always hear noises. You'll always have some sort of background of something happening within yourself. But then you don't label it, and you keep breathing. You come into that space.
Come into the breath. Yeah.
Come into the breath. And then, yeah, you're like, you know, my technique is different in the sense that you actually your body tends to feel also when you come into that space.
Yes.
Because feeling is very much an important thing. And when it comes to emotions, we believe that emotions are very much the heart, like,
Yes.
you know, when we come into the heart space and things. But emotions actually start with the mind first, with the brain first, and then come
Yes.
into the heart space.
Oh, I love it. It's like, you know, you can reframe the limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk. You can reframe the past hurts. You can reframe the programming and conditioning that no longer serves you. But unless you underpin it with the feeling of it,
Yeah.
it's not going to be effective, right?
Yeah. And reframing is great, but we need to learn. The
Yes.
universe has given us the gift of learning.
Oh,
We
I
have
get it.
the
Yeah.
So we need to be able to learn what that experience gave us. There's
Yes.
always a learning
There's
in
always a
everything that we
learning.
do.
Exactly.
And so when we can embrace that and understand that many of the things that we're reframing weren't even yours to take on,
Exactly.
it was someone else's. And so we can learn that power
I think
within
the
us.
learning is the component that's really important, because you can
Yes.
reframe, you know, a negative affirmation, if you
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
but why is that negative affirmation happening in the first place?
In the first place. Exactly. You know,
Exactly.
I've lived alongside mental health for many years. My mother was challenged with having mental health and so on. And I've seen over time how it just gets labeled, and how people are, you know, in this space and so on, and it must be this way, and if they share something that seems a bit way out there, that can't be right, like. And
Yes.
yet I love the fact that the shamans believe so much that anyone that is challenged with a mental health challenge, you know, they're gifted. And it's the Western society that doesn't understand how to bring that gift out, how
Wow.
to understand that gift.
That's
And I
unique.
remember a story that I read
Mm,
many years back of a young boy that had challenges, and he was told by many people, not, you know, he wouldn't amount to much and things wouldn't happen and so on. And shaman had approached the family and asked whether he could go with them, and could he be with them for a year. And they had tried everything. They believed they had tried everything and so on. And they felt very safe with this person and what was going on. They did their research and they said yes. Well, that boy then stayed with them for a year, actually extended his stay another 4 years because he loved the experience and was being understood and was able to cope with and understand what he was going through. And that young boy that was going to, you know, not amount to anything, so to speak, is a doctor,
yeah.
like,
Wow.
that passed his exams with high marks and distinction. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Like,
I do know exactly what you mean.
yeah,
I think it's like, it's a really interesting way of looking at it. It's like when I connect with clients that are autistic or, you know, on the spectrum or whatever.
yeah,
And I often find they're highly telepathic, they're highly
yeah,
intuitive, they're very claircognizant, they're very talented. they have a very definite passion, you know, and purpose here on earth, you know.
Yeah.
So it's all in how you see it. It's like I know there's a way, I've seen it, like, you know, like with some of the villages in Africa, if someone goes off the rails, instead of punishing them, they bring them back into the fold and say, how have we let you down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's all in how you look at it. It's the
how you look at
perception
it.
of
And
things.
it was, you know, it's just that it wasn't understood. Western society
Yes.
didn't quite understand it. And so let's nullify this so-called what they believe a crazy person or something like that, you know. And
Yes.
I don't like to use that terminology because it's not the case, but that's the perception of. But when we can get to the root cause and understand this person and they learn and so on, learning is key. So, and they say knowledge is power. Well, it's the use of knowledge to me that is power.
Exactly. The
Using
use of
that,
knowledge.
the learnings and so on, and the use of
Yes.
that knowledge and wisdom. And
Yes.
so we've, you know, got some beautiful people out there that, you know, people sort of may label them weird or whatever it be, and yet they're not. They're beautiful souls
Yes.
with their
Most
own
of, yeah.
unique essence.
Most of the creative geniuses that we've had over, you know, many eras have been labeled weird,
Yeah.
including Einstein, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing, right? So
It is amazing.
it is amazing. In moments of disconnection or doubt, what practices do you personally return to?
My breathing technique.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
my
walk, you
breathing.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
breathing technique. If I'm
Yes,
unsure about something, then I will do my breathing technique and come into the space and be asked to be shown the way, and, you know, and bring myself back into the moment, because
yes,
that's a key thing. You know, if we're in doubt, we're somewhere attached to some either past experience, or we've
yes,
created a future within our thought pattern in some way that hasn't even maybe happened yet, in the sense of
oh,
where
that's
you are
so
right
true.
now. And so
Yes,
we need to come into the now,
to the sacred now, to that beautiful,
yeah, that
the power
space
of the
of
presence, the
now.
present moment.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Like anxiety is often about, you know, trying to rewrite the past or worry
yeah,
about the future,
exactly.
or but when you come back into that sacred now and you do the beautiful, you know, breath work that you're that I'm sure you can help a lot of people with. I know you can. Yeah, it's just super powerful stuff, isn't it? So
It is.
yeah,
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 and
love it.
sometimes I don't receive the answer immediately, and that's okay. But
Hmm.
it's brought me back into, oh my gosh, here I am right now, and right now I'm safe. Right
Yeah,
now I
right
can
now I'm
see
safe.
the beautiful blue sky. Right now I can hear the sounds of birds singing or dogs barking, or do you know what I mean? Like, you're
Yes,
in the moment of now.
exactly.
And awareness
Exactly.
is key. Awareness
Awareness is so
is key.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's next on your path, gorgeous woman?
Oh, well, I've actually been sitting this for a little while, but I would like to bring a beautiful card deck out with
Gorgeous.
my codes. So they'll incorporate the codes
Oh,
in
how
there.
wonderful.
But then, of course, there'll be other cards associated with that. So the visual will always be on the back of that, each card. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
love that so much.
that's something
So
I
that's a
really
beautiful
like to.
segue. Can I pull you a card
Oh,
from
yes,
my Moon
please.
Temple Oracle deck, my love?
Yes, please.
You can't make this up, Lorraine. So the card I pulled for you is the stunning creation card
Oh, look
with
at that. How
the
beautiful.
hummingbird and, you know, the beautiful goddess. And look at the sacred breath. Look at that.
Oh, yes. I was just actually looking at that right now as you were saying that. As she's
The
breathing
colors are
into
so stunning, and
that.
she's breathing, and there's that luminescent you know, all those beautiful light codes, and
Yeah.
you've got the water, the
She's
beautiful
bringing it to
luminescent
life.
full moon. That's exactly right. She's
Yeah.
bringing it to life. And the first few lines, I won't read all of it. It's basically, I am a powerful creator. The moonlit code words are build, refine, and grow. But the first couple of sentences, listen to this. Divine love is in the air. Creative dreams are wafting in for you. Breathe life into your soulful creations with magical intention.
Oh, how
Yay.
beautiful.
How beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
I know, it's so
Oh,
you. It's so
thank
you. You
you.
can't make this up.
Oh my gosh, yeah, wow. And especially from what I just mentioned before, that is a
Exactly.
perfect reminder. Perfect reminder for
Beautiful.
me to go, wow, yeah.
Now, all of your contact links will be in the show notes. I
Yes.
know that you've got a beautiful presence on social media, including Instagram and Facebook and all of those wonderful things. Facebook, Lorraine Enright, Awaken Spirit, Facebook, the Awakened Path website, the Journey of Being You, Linktree, Insta, they'll all be in the show notes. And
Thank
I
you.
just want to thank you so much. It's so interesting because, as you know, when I came on today, I could hardly breathe. And talking about your beautiful clear view breathing technique, all of a sudden I can breathe and talk. So that's
There
interesting in
you
itself,
go.
right? There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
That beautiful energy that we
that
share.
beautiful, and you've got a beautiful energy. So
Thank
goodbye
you.
for now, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzy, so much. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome.